Diddy's former chief of staff, Kristina Khorram, is not testifying against him. And this is huge, and it only means one thing. If Diddy's found guilty of that RICO charge, Kristina Khorram is going right down with him. She's been a ride or die since the beginning, but girl, we just found out today the final witnesses that'll testify next week against Diddy before it's his turn to start his defense. The last witnesses that they are going to call are the summary witnesses who are going to go over the whole entire case for the jury, and then Brendan Paul, and they're labeling him as a personal assistant, even though we've heard Brendan Paul is Diddy's alleged substance mule and a law enforcement officer. Kristina Khorram was named as taking part in certain things all the way back when Cassie started her testimony. Cassie Ventura alleged that Kristina Khorram would track her down when she tried to get away from Diddy, and it continued all the way up until 2024. We've heard her name from almost every single witness that testified, even the witnesses that took immunity that were personal assistants of Diddy, all talk about Kristina Khorram, saying like she was the one in charge of them. She was like the second person in charge. Multiple of the former assistants that have already testified said Kristina Khorram would tell them what to do and when to do it. We even heard that Kristina Khorram was the one that called the Intercontinental Hotel security guard multiple times and say, hey, we need that video. Jane testified the same thing that we pretty much heard Cassie and all of these other people testify, that Kristina Khorram was the one that you would answer to, and she was always with Diddy. She would set up appointments. She was also the one to tell the other people when it was time to clean or set up the freak-offs. And mind you, all of these allegations go all the way back with Cassie Ventura, all the way until 2024 with Jane. You know, when they were raiding Diddy's mansions, they also found him at the Miami airport and they searched his private jet. When they did this, they confiscated 2 of Kristina Khorram's cell phones. And her cell phones had certain pieces of evidence that they are using in this trial against her. They have talked about a lot of different exhibits that they have that they are using throughout this trial against Kristina Khorram. This one right here really piqued my interest. One of our witnesses next week will testify that Kristina Khorram had access to Mr. Combs' phone and texted from it, that she continued to facilitate hotel nights after knowing Jane coordinated her flights with Kristina Khorram. At least 2 instances of alleged trafficking, Mr. Combs gave her liquid Molly. Seems like they're trying to say just with Jane, Kristina Khorram knew about 2 separate occasions of trafficking. I'm not gonna lie, I really thought that Kristina Khorram was going to flip, and I also thought it was very possible that some of the security would flip. But now that we know who the very last witnesses for the prosecution are, it looks like Kristina and the security aren't saying a word, as far as we know for the government side. But I will be very curious to see if any of them come to testify on Diddy's behalf next week. Which honestly, as much as I've heard Kristina Khorram's name come up, I think it's well deserving that she gets prosecuted too if Diddy's found guilty. But girl, I was wanting to hear your testimony, because we know, baby, you know it all. But y'all let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments.